G'day fellas, and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the north side of the map, playing as the Malians in the colour blue. We've got Annotated. And on the south side of the map, playing as the Chinese in the colour yellow, the one true Voldemort, aka Liquid the Muslim. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dry Arabia. We're back on the rank ladder once again, exploring the build orders of the pros. They're obviously preparing at the moment for Golden League 2, which is coming out. We've now passed that time frame of the nomadic clash. I'm sure you guys would have enjoyed that nomadic clash. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more of it, because I've got a suspicion that's not the only nomadic event that will be happening this year. But nonetheless, we continue, we move forward, because this is an interesting matchup, a matchup that I like quite a bit of a tough matchup, honestly, for China. And I don't know, maybe China's like starting to fall down in the rankings or something like that, but I tell you what, now that I think about it, China's not having an easy time anymore. It's not as easy as it used to be, he says, as China was S+ tier for quite some time. China's somewhat fallen off with that Song Dynasty nerf, and that's what we're going to be looking out for today. So we casted a game with Louis MT not too long ago, a couple of days ago, where he actually went for 3 town centers, didn't go for a Song Dynasty at all, until he'd made 3 town centers, because you've got to remember that now the calculations are different. So the way it used to work was if you had 2 town centers before, Song Dynasty would give you the equivalent of a 3rd town center. Whereas now, with 3 town centers, Song Dynasty will give you the equivalent of a 4th town center. So you're losing quite a bit of value from that Song Dynasty. It's actually quite a significant nerf. I don't think people realize how big that nerf is, going from 13 seconds to 15 seconds. It's very big, but basically means, and I kind of like it in that regard, it basically means you go Song Dynasty not so much for the villager bonus, but rather for the granaries or for the Chukunu. So the question is going to be whether the Muslim's going to be looking to pick that up or not, whether he's just going to be playing a standard style, whether he's just going to be sticking to what he knows. I think against the Malians, we're probably going to be seeing a bit more of the trend change. Malians obviously love that fast castle style of play, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the same thing coming out from the Muslim today. Relics are obviously a big part of that style, so expect to see that, you know, with the Mansa Quarry coming down. This is kind of weird, the Mansa Quarry coming down, so maybe it's not going to be a fast castle. I mean, the old theory goes, or the old saying goes, you know, you make the Saharan trade network just to defend this, but also to flex into trade potentially at a later point. But who knows? Maybe it's that... you know, now that I think about it, trade posts aren't in the best spots, are they? They're kind of open, and I think that really hurts the Malians. It doesn't hurt the Chinese at all. China not interested in trade, at least not until the ultra late game. You know, that not even post-Imperial, but like post-Imperial. That's when China can get interested in trade, which is kind of weird because I think that China actually, I'd have to do the math on it, but I know that China gets tax, basically. They get tax from creating traders. They also get tax from dropping the trade off. I don't know what that tax is. I would imagine it's 10%, but even then, like 10%, you go from like, what, 180 gold up to 196. It's not amazing. It's nothing to write home about, but still, it's a nice little income source. But the age up does come through. Mansa Quarry, 3 minutes 39. Such an early age up here, but the earlier you age up, the sooner the Mansa Quarry starts ticking. That extra gold coming through, you know, maybe if he's a minute slower, then that's an extra 75 gold that you're missing out on. So interesting opening coming through from him. And do we see him look to take even more of the... like, he's got a lot of villagers here on wood, which makes me think he might be thinking about going for the second... the second one of these bad boys, pit mine. Sorry, I've just woken up. It's been a while. Age up on the other side of the map, going to be coming through. Of course, the Muslim going up with the Imperial Academy. No real surprise there. Beautiful little spot he's got for it. On the gold mine and mill, makes me think... I mean, normally you'd be looking for the mill and the lumber camp, and we can see there's a lot of villagers here heading out to wood. The main reason is just because you're going to be focusing on wood a lot more than you're going to be focusing on gold in the early game. So you're not really going to get a huge amount of value out of the mining camp compared to the lumber camp. But we'll see what he's up to, what he's thinking about, and actually going to be going for wheelbarrow as well. So a further curiosity coming out from the Muslim. You know, one of the things I always notice about the Muslim's playstyle as the Chinese is he doesn't really play to the meta of China. Like, obviously he plays to the meta of the other civilizations and he understands them, but when we look at his Chinese, it's a very traditional style of Chinese. It reminds me a lot of Lee Knox Chinese with this early wheelbarrow, because typically, players don't consider wheelbarrow to be quite strong on the Chinese, and the reason why is because you're actually hurting yourself by doing it. By having these larger drop-offs where you're dropping off every 15 food rather than every 10, you're actually reducing the amount of tax that you've got. And obviously with the Imperial Academy, you double up that tax as well. So you're hurting yourself. I think if we did the math on it, so if you were to gather 30 food, you would be generating 6 tax without wheelbarrow, and with wheelbarrow, you'd only be generating 4 tax. So it's quite a big difference. But I think the question is also whether how much you rely on tax, because we do see a lot of players that don't necessarily look to rely on it. And take a look at this. We have the Barbican coming up, and we've also got a mining camp going to be thrown down as well. 10 vills on this Barbican. So once again, the Muslim going to be going for that bit of an old school build. We do see double stable also coming up from Anatan. So players definitely looking to mix things up, and the second pit mine does go down. So my suspicions were correct. We were going to see that. I think he's just going for that. And this is interesting, right? Like, we're kind of reverting back to old school builds. I remember watching the Muslim's stream when he was playing the Malians when they first came out, and it was Mansa Quarry into immediately 2 pit mines. So it's kind of interesting that it's come back around right now. Warrior Scouts, though. Do we potentially see... We do indeed. Professional Scouts. Professional Scouts going to be coming out. When I realized I saw the 2 Warrior Scouts and the third one, I'm like, hold on a minute. We got ourselves a Professional Scouts on the cards, don't we? And indeed we do. They might have a little bit of trouble, though. This deer pack pretty well locked down by the Muslim at this point with the Barbican. He's obviously got the villagers there nearby. So I think that Anatan's probably just going to play the safe game here. Look to pick up these 7 deer out here, and that's exactly where he's going at the moment. You can see 1 Warrior Scout coming in just to try and scout out what that hunt is up to. He'll see the Barbican. If he's doing the right thing, he'll fall back. I mean, you can probably pinch a couple of these ones on the outer edge. You ideally want to wait for them to get killed, just because there's a little bit of time before you are able to snipe them and pick them up. But we do see Professional Scouts coming through, and that's exactly what he's going to go for. He's going to run in, pick up the deer, and out he goes. So very well played there from Anatan. Just being very cheeky, very annoying. And I like this, right? Like a lot of people will think to themselves, you know what? I've got to commit. I've got to get all of the deer. Oh, it's okay. You just get 1. I mean, just 1 is just it's perfect. Now, interesting from Anatan, we do also see he's looking to pick up horticulture. Now, obviously, he's on cows, he's on sheep, and so it makes sense there. But when he's going for the Professional Scouts, this is not something that's going to be affected by the horticulture. This is going to be something that's affected by survival techniques. So you don't really want to dilute the food that you're getting unless you're going to be getting both of those upgrades. But then at the same time, you don't really want to be getting both of those upgrades at the same time. And look at this. Hold on a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, wee, wow. No, hold on. We got Sofa on the backside. I'm trying to work. Is he just... No, he's not. Okay, it's a different scout. I'm trying to work out whether it was the same scout or not. Sofa number 1 going to come through. It's just going to tag a house before it starts working down on that Imperial official. Remember, it's a double-edged sword taking out the Imperial official. You take out an Imperial official, sure, they're expensive, but they're very easy to replace. And you got to remember, you're not really setting your opponent behind with regard to, you know, their villager count there. Okay, sure, you take 1 villager out, but at the same time, they're just going to replace it very easily because the Imperial Academy can just remake it. So we do see 2 TC Song coming up, and look at the Muslim, already 600 gold in the bank right here. That's a lot of gold that he's gathered up, so could be looking for some upgrades potentially, but most certainly going to be looking for a Castle Age. A lot of villagers here on food, more than enough to go for that Castle Age. But double Sofa coming out, going to be looking to fight up against the Spearman. Nope, yep, nope, there we go. All right, they're coming through. And now they're going to fall back, realizing that 2 spears is probably too many to be fighting. The Muslim now looking to pick up upgrades as well. We see him go horticulture as well as double broad axe. I'm loving the positions and just early greed coming through. Back towards the base of Anatan though. Let's check in with him and see what he's up to. Mining camp on both of these mines. It's got pretty decent cavalry control at this point in time. But I'm liking the way that he's played it in that he's been quite greedy with the pit mines. But at the same time, I feel like it's such a lost opportunity not to be trading. Like, even if you trade from here, I feel like you've got to trade from here and then, like, wall off the trade there and, like, position your market here. Picks up a couple of spears. It's not going to be too pertinent. These spears are pretty far pushed out. And remember, the Muslim can always just supervise some his barracks and he'll have 17 spears out in the blink of an eye. But I can't help but feel like had you gone for, like, a little wall here just to stop the traders from coming around this side, and then maybe a wall here, the traders would be coming all the way back, and you'd pretty much just have, like, a very nice trade route here. And it's such a missed opportunity, right? Like, if I told you, okay, you can pick between a Malian trade route, which is uncontested, or you can pick between a pit mine, or rather a double pit mine and a Mansa quarry. Like, which one are you going to take? Obviously, you're going to take the trade. But we do see he moves into the Frimba garrison, so not going to be looking at trade at all. So maybe that's what he's thinking. He's thinking, well, look, we're just going to play it a bit of the old school style. But I do like the adaptation that he's played on it, Anatan, with some pretty smart moves here, because the old school style very much focused on going for the big cow landmark. I'm sure you guys will remember the big cow landmark. What is it even called? I gotta try and think about this bad boy right now. The big cow landmark. Oh, that is a name that escapes me. I've got to head back to the drawing board for that one. But we see more of a focus on the Furuma garrison, and obviously the gold is heavily focused as well. Has he picked up? He's picking it up right now. Specialized pick coming through right now. Lots of vills on this gold. He's going to be in a great spot, honestly, for this mid. This early castle spike might actually put Muslim in a bit of a tough spot. I'm curious how he responds to it. The answer looks like it's going to be Castle Age, which is the correct response, because dealing with Sofa, I tell you what, you really need crossbows to deal with these bad boys. They are very, very difficult to deal with otherwise. Obviously, you've got spears, but just because of the extra mobility that they've got over, say, the knight, it just makes them really, really, really hard. But walls coming up now for the Muslim. Look at that spear number. You know, it's funny, I talked about it earlier. I said 17 spears in the blink of an eye. I just kind of rattled that number off, but we do now see 16 spears coming out, and I suspect he supervised a large portion of that. So there you go. Drongo not too far off. Aggression over towards this west side of the base, but the astronomical clock tower going to get thrown down here. Looks like it should be within the radius of the Imperial Academy. For anybody playing along at home, it's normally something you want to avoid. They changed the way that Siege... You used to get refunded 32 gold for each siege unit you'd make, but now they made it 4. So it's just not good. It's not good anymore. Spearman coming through. He's looking for the veterancy upgrade straight away. Manages to pick off, I think it's 1 sofa that he gets. And we do see a gate coming down as well as the wall looking to be repaired. Loving the walls out from the Muslim as well. Very nice and deep. And he's up quite a lot of vills at this point. Up 30 vills. So Song Dynasty is still quite strong. And I can't help but feel, where does he go from here, right? Because this is the part that always does me a bit hard. Because you can play Nest of Bees, you can play Spearman, and you can be defensive. But the problem is going to be if your enemy does look to transition into Springles. And if they scout, okay, you know, he's gone for the astronomical clock tower, he's making a lot of Spearmen, it's highly likely that they're going to know you're making knobs. So how do you use that as a potential... Or to your advantage, because Springlets are going to take quite a lot of time to come online. Now, if someone fancies themselves, they're going to be like, you know what, I don't need Springlets. I can do it without the Springlets. I can do it with cavalry only. But that's where the Spearmen come in, right? Like, look how many Spearmen we're up to, and he's making more Spearmen. He's only making spears at this point. He's going full 100% spears. I'm looking at the resource, and I'm just thinking, is there a potential that he goes imp here? Like, the way he's stacking up food, he's not spending that wood either. The wood is going to get thrown down for the farm transition. I'm feeling that there could be an imp coming through. Let's wait and see, though. Because an imp would make a lot of sense here, right? Because all you would do is go straight up for elite spears. That's basically it. Elite spearmen, supervise the elite spears, and you would just win the game. Because elite spears, they do pretty well against the veteran archers. Obviously, you'd also get, you know, your palace guards. They would come out as well. But... The more and more I look at this, the more I think he might be going fast imp, which is kind of crazy considering we're at the 14-minute mark at the moment. But if there's anybody to do it, Muslim's the kind of guy who could. And we do see a market thrown down. Yeah, okay, here's the trade coming through. This is just such a curious market, though. Market all the way to the corner, and then just throw a wall here, and you're fine. And a wall just here blocking the traders, so they have to go even further around it. Spearman moving through. Relic going to get picked up. Now, I'm curious whether... Yeah, he's actually attack moved over to this position, so he's looking for trade. Not going to find it, obviously, because it's non-existent at this point in time. Now going to throw down those toll outposts as well. So big trade going to be coming through. And I think I still fall back to that same old question earlier. Wouldn't you have rather have just had more traders? More traders rather than just going for the Mansa Quarry and the double pit mine? But obviously that would have delayed everything. Would have delayed the position significantly. How much does he pull in from these? 171. That's not bad, but you can see he still goes around the long way. This is why you need that little wall coming in just right there at an angle. Spearman moving through. And look at the food that's stacked up right now. He's only got 8 vills on food. He's going to be going for a farm transition. Indeed he is. So big farm transition coming through now. And he's all over the map. I'm loving the way that he's moving these spearmen. Sitting on 20 spears at the moment. So not a huge force in his base. But he's very confident, isn't he? I mean, right now, if Anatan looked to attack, Voldemar, a.k.a. Voldemort, a.k.a. the Muslim, would be in a bit of a tough spot. Villager's going to get spotted out here. That extra movement speed from the wheelbarrow helping out. Pulls them all away to safety. And we do indeed have an Imperial coming through. So what does he look to go imp with? And yeah, this was my suspicion. So throws the barracks down, looks for the elite upgrades, and then just floods with elite units. And that's pretty smart, right? Because the hardest thing for the Malians to deal with is a tech switch, a very, very quick tech switch. This looks like it should come off. Oh, he converted the spears, but he converted the spears, but the Imam died. The Shaman died. Look at that. He converted the spears. Those are blue spears. What? Okay. I mean, my last dying wish, I'm just going to capture you. Yeah, so I think, like, you've got to remember that when it comes, so there are Musafati that are out on the field at the moment, but ideally you shouldn't, Musafati are like a crossbow, right? They're a counter unit. Ideally you shouldn't be making them unless you already spot your enemy out making a unit that you want to be countering. So in a perfect world, you wouldn't have any Musafati. There's actually 25 on the field. All right, well, I was going to say, you're not really going to take a tech switch by surprise, or a tech switch isn't going to take him by surprise. Spirit Way coming up though, a lot of villagers working on this bad boy. Less than 10 seconds, and he's going to be imp. And so the question is, where does he go from here? But I think the answer is almost certainly just elite spears, mass elite spears. Before 17 minutes, that Imperial, that qualifies as a fast imp. That is rivaling Viper's fast imps from back in the day. Obviously, it's a little bit different from the Holy Roman Empire fast Imperial, because that's a whole strategy to itself. And now the keep going to come down. This keep basically says, you can't kill me. That's what this keep does, because in this position, Anatan, I mean, look at this, 77 military against 10. That's what this keep does. Now, the other key factor here is it needs to get more walls up. Ideally, I'd love to see like just a whole wall come in, and that way you can keep the nest of bees behind it. But I tell you what, he's going to have a tough time if he's looking to hold this. How is it possible that he could hold with 10 military pop against 82? Look at the size of that army. All right, Demuslim, good luck, my friend. This is going to be tough. He's thrown away a fair amount of spears. Knobs will expose themselves. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. That was not intentional. More spears on the north side. With this keep getting up, basically Anatan says, well, I'm in a bit of a tough spot because I can't attack you. And he knows that. And so he just chills for the moment. So he's going to move either into Trebs and Springlets, or he's going to go imp himself. And if he goes imp himself, then he's just playing the game of China, because China loves imp. Obviously, they want to play it where possible. Against the Malians, they will lose if the Malians have got good trade up. They don't have good trade here, so it's not a terrible spot, but we do see the nest of bees moving out, looking to defend. We've got Demuslim, who's had to fall back away from this gold mine, running a little bit low on gold, it seems, down to 13 gold. And now in a bit of a tough spot. We enter into the cinematic mode as villagers look intent to drop down a keep. A little bit further out, we hear an attack siren go off. Spearman going to be holding the front. Nest of bees firing off some blanks on the backside. Keep going to get thrown down. There's a lot of ills here. It looks almost certain that keep is going to be going up. Musafati on the front line looking to overwhelm. Managed to get past, and it's going to be a pretty decent cleanup here. Coming through from Anatan at the same time, just picking off the villagers. But look at the keep. Keep is going to go up, that's for sure. Nest of bees running for dear life. Palace guards also coming out here. Vills jump inside the keep. First of the nest of bees goes down. Second one also going to get thrown down. Keep is under pressure on this front side, but still, he's looking good, looking solid. Nest of bees trying to make their runaway. And look at the palace guards. Palace guards on the backside. Have we seen elite upgrades? It doesn't look like any elite upgrades have come through. He's just looking to play it with the Barbican and the two keeps. But somehow, Anatan has thrown it all away. He's thrown it all away. Where did he just think he was going to win so overwhelmingly that now he's just kind of like overstayed his welcome? He's down to 58 military pop though. That's the thing to note. Sofa up on the north side. More archers going to be over on that west side as well. And units being rallied in towards the front. But remember, the keep here, always going to be able to help you out plenty. Springwood emplacement coming through on the Barbican. Also going to be locking it down even further. But now villagers got to become the focus. Anatan doing pretty decent within 20 villagers now. But Muslim going to be actually holding. I mean, it looked like he was going to die, but it all goes down to that single keep. That single keep. And to be honest, I didn't like the position of it. I thought it was a bit too far forward. I would have gone for something a bit more around here. But this one managed to hold. The second keep that goes down was beautiful. This was absolutely glorious. Now, granted, he lost a lot of villagers when he dropped this keep down. But at the same time, he was able to secure up the gold, secure up this eastern flank, and it means that he's able to hold the defense for now. Beautiful Chinese farms, by the way. How many farms are we rocking right here, Demo? 48 farms. That, my friends, is a very nice amount of farms. So we start to see elite upgrades coming through right now. So elite palace guards is on the way in. Elite spearman not quite yet. But he's moving into mass palace guards, and this is always something that I'd be a little bit hesitant to do, especially against the Malians, just with their melee crossbowmen, aka the Musafadi. They are a unit that does very well against palace guards. I'm curious how they stack up against elite palace guards, though, because that's going to be the difference, right? Now, keep in mind, they do actually have the same movement speed as the Musafadi, but once the Yuan dynasty comes through, then they're going to have a little bit more speed. But remember that once the Farimba leadership comes through from the sofa, that all of a sudden everything's back even once again. So I think it's available from the stable. Yeah, Farimba leadership here. So an extra 15%. But look at this. He knows exactly how to cut off the trade. Let's have a look. We're at 21 minutes. We should have a look at the incomes at the moment. Yeah, 3.2k there. So a total of about 5k resources for Anatan. But as soon as this market gets dropped down, all of that just dwindles down to zero. He interrupts trade completely. And if we take a look from Anatan's perspective, how many traders have we actually got out on this map at the moment? 28 traders. And that right there is a mistake by Anatan not walling that in and just allowing himself to really be exposed there. But now elite palace guards coming through. Looks like they've also got elite army tactics. A little bit more health, a little bit more damage, 20% to be exact. And now from the south side, we've got ourselves a little bit of a counterattack, and Demusa might be in trouble as he is completely surrounded. So far, Musafadi absolutely cleaning house here. And once again, Demusa going to be heading back to the drawing board going, you know what? My enemy's got kind of a big army. What do I do here? But fortunately, he knows what to do. He's already up to 43 military pop. Throws down a counter keep. Look at that. I love the way that Demusa is so aggressive with the villagers. He says, you know what? I need to get this keep up. I'm just going to bring 40 villagers, and it's going to get up. Yeah, I might lose 27 villagers, 29 villagers. But hey, at least I'll get it up, won't I? Military numbers still looking pretty solid for him. I think the question's going to be, how does he trade? Like, not trade as in that trade, but trade as in, how do his units trade? How effective is the trade against his opponent? Because now Anatan might be in a little bit of trouble. There are still no walls coming up at all for Anatan. Speaking of trade, there you go. Where's that market? Oh, markets have come down over on this southeast side of the map. Relics. Aggressive Wallalol. You know what? I would have been tempted to dive that, and I think that was the perfect Wallalol there from Anatan. Half a second later, and it would have been all over Red Rover. And look at Demuslim just going all over the map, fighting now for stone. It is all about stone for him. That keeper's gone down, absolutely shredded by that bombard cannon on the backside. Sacred Site, once again held by Anatan. He's holding only 2 of them. Pit mine goes down. Needs to look for these elite upgrades. Elite Musafadi are in. No elite Sofa just yet. Also needs to pick up that Farimba leadership. It's an expensive upgrade. 1,000 resources. Jeez Louise. Tell you what, that is expensive. All the houses now burnt down. It's going to mean he's throwing down houses somewhere else on the map. And finally, we do see walls coming down from Anatan at 24 minutes. I'll tell you what, I don't know much about this Anatan guy, but I tell you right now, he's a pretty decent player. That is for sure. You know, his profile picture, Anatan, it is a diamond, like, I think it's Diamond Season 1. That's the picture. If this guy was Diamond Season 1 and this is him now, I tell you what, this guy, he's got a bright future ahead of him. Maybe this is the kid. Maybe this is the kid. You know, we often talk about the kid, aka Voldemar. Maybe this is the real kid right here. Voldemar, calling you out, buddy. And now we see Yuan Dynasty coming through. It's going to give all these palace guards a little bit more movement speed. I say a little bit more. It's a lot more. They're able to cut down their enemy. Let's see if we can find one that's charging. When they're charging, they get that extra movement speed. It's crazy how much speed they get. Here we go. Nah, we still don't get it. Or is 1.94 movement speed. There you go. 1.94 movement speed on the charge. So faster than a horseman when they're charging. They could literally catch a horseman. Voldemort. Voldemort! I love that I was... Because it's the one true Voldemort, so it's like one true Voldemort, and then Voldemort, and then we're talking about him. Oh, I'm sorry, Voldemort. You know I love you. But at this point, I mean, the Muslim's just got a complete surround when it comes to him. He's in his base, he's killing his dudes, Veals everywhere on the map, spots out the traders as well. This could be bad. But at the same time, up towards the north side, looks like the Sofa have got their elite upgrades through. Gotta be careful though against those palace guards. They get beautiful little surrounds. Musafati gonna come in. These guys gonna make short work. Well, not in those kind of numbers, they're not. But you know, even numbers, they would make short work. Towards the middle of the map though. There's action everywhere on this map right now. I'm tempted to enter into the cinematic mode, but it doesn't seem so pivotal, this fight. The Muslims just giving him the ring around the rosy at this point. Now looking to capture up the sacred site and the relic. Back towards the base of the Muslim. He's got plenty of production, only making barracks. We actually see a switch to stables. He's bringing out hand cannoneers with pyrotechnics. So they're going to be very effective at dealing with the Sofa. Imam coming through. How many relics are we talking? That's going to be the 4th relic right there. He could look to pop it right now. Wouldn't be a terrible pop. At the same time, up towards the north, more market's going to be going down. Relic just standing by. He's finding his way through. He's looking for those traders. He knows that they're somewhere around here. He knows the market's going to be in this direction. But this might be a pretty smart play from Enotan, because normally you'd go for the corner, right? That's typically where it's going to be. But look at this. The Muslim comes out, looking over to the edge. Beautiful little job by Enotan to keep the markets hidden. Secret little markets thrown down. Up towards the north, Musafati cleaning up. So Enotan's managing to hold on despite that 50 villager difference between these two guys. In the middle of the map, Lombard's still working its magic down on that landmark. Ideally, you'd like to repair this landmark. It's much easier to repair it with wood rather than to repair it with the keep with stone. And that's exactly what he does. So very, very good choice by him. More palace guards looping around. And this is the consequence of not walling, right? If you think your position's so good that you don't need to wall, you're wrong. Your position's never good enough not to wall. Walls are just one of those safety features. It's a safety net, you know? In the event your enemy does not die from your super mega death push. Is that a band, super mega death? I think that might be a band. But you guys get the point. You know, in the event that your enemy doesn't die from your death push, well, there's always a window for counterplay. And this is the counterplay. And look at this, villagers trying to break their way through. More keeps gonna get dropped down. We're in keep mania right now. Like, this is just, I mean, I feel like at this point, the Muslims role-playing as the Kardashians. There are that many keeps coming through. We see there's just villagers on that north side. No more units gonna be coming down. There's the Musafati. They're in stealth all along. Look out. Watch out from the top rope. Managing to make their way onto the front side. Hand cannoneer is going to be coming out now. And now Demuslim going to be looking to push back. And Good Game gets called. Enotan taps out. He says, you know what? I can't deal with it. The tempo's too high from him. Impressive stuff right there from Demuslim to manage to come back from such a deficit. Fellas, go check him out. I'm going to leave a link in the description where you can find Demuslim live over on Twitch. He might even be live right now. So go say good day, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.